What's up, guys? So, just a lighthearted video here, just going off the cuff, no notes or anything. It's just something that I had seen recently in the industry, and I thought it was funny, something I should comment on. And specifically talking about Greg Doucette's cookbook, but more generally talking about these recipes in general for dieters. And it was something that I just thought was really funny, and no hate on Greg Doucette here, because honestly, if you can get somebody to pay you $100 for a cookbook, I think, hey, more power to you. Like, that's awesome. So definitely no hate there. I just think it's really funny because for anybody who's bought the book, like I've seen a few of the recipes, I've had them sent to me. He has some of the recipes on his YouTube channel. And I'm looking at these and I'm like, again, I guess if you're newer to the industry or you're just a really big fan of somebody, you want to support him, then that's one thing. I could definitely see that. And again, if you're just new, then maybe you just don't know what's out there. But I'm thinking back when I started getting into this like 15 years ago, man, like I couldn't turn away all of the ebooks that I was getting. Like people would send ebooks, free ebooks, and all of them, or a lot of them, had different recipes and different cookbooks. I mean, I still have somewhere like the Precision Nutrition diet book and all their recipes. Like literally, if you want it, just email me. Like it's so old at this point, but there are so many recipes in there. You go through, like you get like a Ninja blender. They have their recipes there. But more importantly, I feel like you can just, like, it's 2020. Use the internet. Just Google any recipe that you would want. Like it's so bizarre to me that somebody would pay that much and for any ebook, really. I mean, I guess if you had like some super famous chef and you wanted their specific recipes, but for the most part, like when I want a certain food, if there's a recipe or something I'm thinking of, I just Google this recipe or like this food recipe. And then I find a million different options online, especially when it comes to these dieting ones. First of all, a lot of them are more just kind of a pain in the butt. Like one of the reasons that I never bothered with them was because like when I was dieting and food obsessed, maybe it would sound like a good idea. But after I get into the routine of bulking up and gaining some weight, it's just like, this is just kind of annoying. Like I don't, it seems cool, but when you actually become very busy and you have to have structure to your life and everything, most people, I mean, it's nice as a little treat. Like I totally think sometimes these meals can be really nice. But after a while, it's just like, man, like I'm busy. I just want to have my standard meals. Now, you can make things in bulk, and I don't think it's a problem to do this. But sometimes the recipes, it's just, there's so much to it, and it takes all this meal time and meal prep that it's just not worth it. But there are certainly things that you can just make in bulk and have for the week. So that's not really a core issue. It's just after a while, it's just like, let me just slap together my stuff. I'm not a picky eater, so that's part of it as well. But what really cracks me up with some of these recipes is it's like, did you need to pay somebody to tell you to make some of these substitutions? Like, so for instance, if you look at Greg Doucette's, he has a protein pudding, which we're actually going to make tonight, and not his recipe. I'll show you my recipe and just kind of what I've done for years now. I think he calls it protein pudding or protein ice cream. And then he has like his anabolic French toast. Like, so when I watched the video for him to make this anabolic French toast, I'm expecting something unique, right? Like, man, like what's he going to do? It's just French toast. But instead of eggs, he dips it in egg whites, and instead of regular syrup, he uses sugar-free syrup. Like that's it. Like it's just genuinely so funny to me that this is like the secret recipe. It's like if you've seen the vertical diet, like I only just in the last couple of days have even looked into what the vertical diet is after hearing about it forever. And they have this thing called Monster Mash, and I look at it, I'm like, oh, maybe this is something really unique, and it's like ground beef and rice with some other things. I'm like, and they're not acting like it's this special thing, but some people are talking about, oh, I gotta get my Monster Mash, it's so good. I'm like, what were you eating before? Like, are these the people who were eating just chicken and broccoli, and now you've discovered that there are actually other things you can eat? Like, it's very amusing to me. So with this French toast, he's like, yeah, you put egg whites, you use a sweetener, then you dip your bread in it, and there's the cinnamon and vanilla, and you cook it. I'm like, yeah, like a standard French toast recipe, okay. And then you use sugar-free syrup. That's it. That's the whole recipe. Like, again, maybe this is funnier to me because I've seen this for so many years, and it's just so basic. But just type in low-calorie pizza option, low-calorie French toast, low-calorie pancakes. I mean, this stuff has been around forever, and that would be my recommendation. If there's something that you like, it's pretty easy to think, well, it uses eggs, maybe use egg whites. It uses a syrup, maybe use a sugar-free version. It uses a cup of sugar, maybe use Splenda or Equal or something else. Like, I don't know, maybe to me it's just very obvious. So again, nothing wrong with trying these recipes. I just think it's funny that some people are acting like it's this revolutionary thing, or that you couldn't just think to use these basic substitutes anyway. So again, no hate on Greg at all. The fact that you're able to get all these people to buy the book for $100 is amazing. Maybe I should put out my own cookbook. So today I just wanted to show you one or two treats that I like to have. One of them is actually basically going to be like that protein pudding or protein ice cream that he does. For years, I had basically just called this banana ice cream. It's very, very simple. You use frozen bananas, and that alone, literally just that alone blended up, tastes pretty good. You put that in a food processor, you blend it up, good consistency, tastes great. Obviously, you can add other fruits, but banana is my favorite because it's really creamy. On top of that, then you can add a little bit of sweetener, some vanilla, some protein powder. I think this is actually pretty close to what he does. So again, I mean, I don't know if you needed him to sell you the cookbook to make it, then that's fine. But I'll show you specifically what I do, and I think it's pretty good. It's something that I've had for, I don't know, probably the last 3 or 4 years since I had a food processor. It's delicious. And the other one is basically just Greek yogurt. Really nothing special with that one. But again, similar calories, very dessert-esque. And I'll show you some of the flavoring that I use that I really enjoy. All right, so here is my $200 recipe for my banana ice cream. So, obviously, we're going to need some bananas. So again, this is just like something that I've made for many years. I used the food processor for a while. I think I'm going to make a lot here, so I'm going to just do it in my blender. I don't know if you can see it on here. The blender is on the scale. This way I can just kind of weigh it as I go. I don't have to keep measuring every individual ingredient. So we are going to go with 12 ounces of bananas. Like I said, if you want more volume or lower calories, you could go with strawberries. I just find banana to be a lot richer. If you blend up like strawberries or peaches or anything like that, to me, that's, I guess, more of like a sorbet. This is actually pretty damn creamy. So 11.6, close enough. So that with a little bit of almond milk, I find to be very creamy, very satisfying. I actually heard about this from my aunt who was doing a diet like 5 years ago. So obviously it's not a secret out in there. But like I said, this is going to be going in my $200 new cookbook. So get some almond milk. Just use unsweetened almond milk. Obviously 30 calories per cup. Super low calorie. I would use a half a cup for this. And actually a lot of times anything that has cups or any like measuring spoons or anything like that, I just go by the weight. I just find it easier. So even like oatmeal, say a cup is 80 grams. I'll just measure 80 grams. So in this case, I'm just measuring 120 grams for half of a cup. So I do have my own little special flavoring secret that I use. And that is something that I made a post about on Instagram, so not that much of a secret. It is True Protein Flavoring. So it's actually called True Nutrition now. True Protein was started by Dante Trudel. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about him before. I probably come across as like a Dante fanboy. There's actually a lot of stuff that Dante puts out that I don't really agree with that much. Not a lot, but some things. But since I was like 14 years old, I bought their flavor packs because you could buy 25 pounds of protein, just straight whey protein for $100. It was incredibly cheap. And you buy the flavoring packs by themselves. And then you can add that to taste. But I actually preferred, I would put it on that too. But I would add it to oatmeal, cottage cheese, like so many things, my shakes. So I would say just get a little bit of this. Like I said, if you want, I'm sure there's other flavoring systems out there, but this is the one that I love. It also seems to add some bulk to it. So again, just kind of to taste here, I would say if you're measuring it out, it's a couple of grams, maybe less than a tablespoon for sure. And it's pretty strong, so you really don't need a lot. This, like I said, if there's any secret to this recipe, this is it. Add some vanilla flavoring, or just vanilla extract, actually. So I don't add any Splenda or anything like that. Splenda and Equal, are both great. I don't actually feel like I need it after that protein flavoring. It's pretty sweet by itself. And then I have protein powder here. Just Optimal Nutrition, nothing special, just whatever way you like. This is already going to have some flavoring, which is why I said I don't need to add any sweetener on top of that. This is also new, so I'm probably going to have to go fetching for the scoop, which is the worst. And for something like this, I'll do just like 30 grams, basically 1 scoop of protein powder. This is vanilla ice cream flavor. one of my favorites. A lot of people like chocolate. Chocolate banana is obviously great. Look at that, 28 grams. Gotta be exact because I'm OCD with that kind of thing. 30 grams, perfect. So the thing is, when I saw Greg Doucette's protein, you call it protein pudding, I'm pretty sure it's protein ice cream. When I saw him do it, I was like, this is literally exactly what I do, plus or minus a few things. I've actually had it where, and again, this might be different between his cookbook or his YouTube video. I've seen him use PB2, which I also have as a different brand, but something I like to use. I've seen pudding, like sugar-free pudding, using that. A lot of these are things that will add bulk to it and make it kind of fluffy, which makes it more like a protein powdery. Like if you ever, I mean, even back again, seriously, if you want to see like the precision nutrition recipes, you can email me and I'll send them to you, as long as there's no like copyright issues there. But they would talk about making this protein pudding, and really it's just like in yogurt or milk, and you just use a lot of protein powder to make it thick. You just want that kind of consistency. So let's go 2 tablespoons there. And I've experimented with this before compared to peanut butter. And if you're doing it by weight, I mean, this is pretty light. Like a tablespoon of this is only 6 grams compared to 16 grams for peanut butter. So if you're doing it by tablespoon, yeah, regular peanut butter is going to taste stronger. But if you're doing it by weight, you know, you're getting 5 tablespoons of PB2 per 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And you're getting something like, if you're doing it by calories, then you're getting like 8 tablespoons of PB2 compared to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. So it's going to be a lot more of a peanut butter taste, especially in something that's blended like this. Sometimes though, actually, and I'll show you at the end, I'll actually add peanut butter as its own little topping if you can afford those calories. So that is pretty much it, and then we're going to blend it. Probably saw that I added ice like halfway through there. If you are going to add ice, I would probably add it early because it seriously will seem like everything is blended, and then I'll blend it for like 5 minutes and there ends up still being some minor ice chunks in there, which is annoying when you're trying to enjoy something creamy. Alright, I think that's enough. So you see on there it says 6 cups. So there's really obviously no need to weigh it out afterwards. I just like to do it, not all the time, but just curious to see like how much it makes. Especially if you're comparing it to ice creams. Now here's the thing. If you have had Halo Top, per cup, this actually isn't that much better from a calorie standpoint. I love Halo Top. The thing is with Halo Top is that when I'm done a pint of Halo Top, I want 3 more pints of Halo Top. Compared to like if you have a pint of Ben & Jerry's, that stuff is thick, it's rich, it's obviously like a ton of calories. I think probably 1,200, 1,300 calories per pint. So a lot of times we'll go with Halo Top, and that's great, but if you're dieting, I usually don't like to have Halo Top because it's like, again, you have one and it's like, man, did I even eat anything? It just goes down so quickly. But if you're looking at it per cup, Halo Top on average is like 120 to 180 per cup. So I'm going to measure this out here. So this is probably about, I'll have to add it up, but probably somewhere in the order of 400 calories. And it said 6 cups, but again, that's a very fluffified 6 cups. So going by weight here, you're looking at, geez, like 1.5 pounds almost. So if you're going by weight of like fluid, you know, that's maybe 2.5 to 3 cups. So again, I mean, it's a little bit better than Halo Top depending on what you're putting in there, but not dramatically so. So yeah, it comes out to be almost 1.5 pounds. All right, and because I am not cutting, I'm going to have a tablespoon of peanut butter. Personally, whether it's a protein shake or whether it's something like this, I find it more enjoyable to actually not blend in the peanut butter. If I blend in a tablespoon of peanut butter, it's 100 calories, and I can't really taste it in there. I mean, a little bit, but especially with the PB2 already there, you get a very little bit of the taste. Here, you know, 16 grams is 1 tablespoon, so I measure that out. Because it's just like on the side, I can really taste it, and to me, that's more enjoyable. So 15 grams, close enough. All right, Here's the big secret, and this is why I charge $200 for my cookbook. All right, let me go ahead and get the big secret. All right, sugar-free syrup. I know it's really kind of amazing that you could use a sugar-free option instead of a full sugar syrup. That you could use Splenda, and that you could use a PP2 instead of peanut butter. But that's why you pay me the big bucks. So sugar-free syrup is going to be our topping here. There's obviously other syrups out there that are flavored very low calories. So this is what I got. About to chow down on this using Tupperware because my dishes are dirty. Here we go. So that's it, guys. Very basic recipes. Hope you guys enjoyed the content of this video. Let me know what you think about cookbooks that have recipes like this, if you ever used one, and if you want me to actually put real recipes out there. Or like I said, if you're interested in having me send you something, let me know.